Good morning from Anchor Point, Alaska. So I'd pop on for a bit of a live chat while I'm cooking bread this morning. I didn't bother dialing up for anybody. Just legit crawled out of bed and started doing chores. So right now I got some bread rising. I like to bake my bread first thing early in the morning when I get up early. And then I took half the dough and I'm gonna make some cinnamon rolls. Gonna get a nasty snowstorm today, and maybe 10 inches of snow. Snow blower's dead. Broke a belt on that yesterday. So when it gets lighter here a little bit later, start repairing the snow blower and go outside and do that. I'm in Anchor Point, Alaska. Have an experimental farm here. So I'm just going to kind of mill about until some people pop up on the chat. Anyone has any questions that they want answered about Alaska, about anything in general in the world, pretty savvy on goings on. I talk to so many people around the world every single day. Um, really appreciate YouTube allowing us to be able to connect with other people around the globe, get different perspectives on things, get to stay in the know what's really going down, get to connect with cultures that normally won't be able to connect with. It's such a blessing. I really enjoy it. So usually I just post a little bit ahead of time when I'm going to pop up live. But today I'm just winging it. So we'll see if anyone pops up. If not, maybe I'll do one later on today too. It's going to kind of hunker down. Hunker down today. Wait for the weather to get nicer. Sorry for the pinkness here in the picture, but I've got some Illumatex LEDs going on in the background. You can kind of see got banana plants, ice cream, bean, figs, and all that stuff going. Since I work so much and don't, you know, get a chance to really do a vacation because I have farm animals and my animals are more important than my recreation. But I do spend an inordinate time out in the woods exploring the bush, usually by myself. Got lots of bears around here. It's probably not the wisest choice. But seems to be an awful lot of people in Alaska that don't really get out and do a whole lot except for in the summer. Find usually I get geared up and head out. It's not quite as bad and cold as what you'd think. Lots of projects online for this year. I got to finish a geodesic dome frame I got built, 3/4 built out front. I want to do a new barn, so I'm going to use a chainsaw mill, try to get some logs together. If anyone wants to support the farm, I'll drop a link here and you can do that. Anything helps. A lot of the stuff I grow, I try to give to people who need it, who can use it. I don't always charge. In fact, usually if someone says that they're having a hard time, I'll just go ahead and give them extras of anything I've got. Um, get this link on here a minute. See if anyone pops up. You get a few people on here, maybe I'll tell some stories. So, my life in Alaska, how did it start? Well, to be honest, my journey to Alaska started. What's a good way to say this? I grew up in Michigan on a dairy farm. It was a kind of a rough place to grow up as a kid. Mm, Dad wasn't really a good person. Got in a lot of trouble with the police. And as much as I hated how all that went down, I found myself getting drawn into negative crowds and negative influences. Um, I was in a fight with myself for most of my youth. It was like there was two different versions of me competing for who was going to take over and kind of run the show. Got into the wrong crowds, got myself in some trouble. Um, thank God I was able to get myself back out of that trouble. And I think the desperation to need change in my life was the motivating factor that got me to come up here shortly after high school and go fishing. I had a brief military career that didn't go well. Had a bunch of things at home that fell apart. Uh, Lost my cousin in a horrible car accident with a bunch of her friends. While I was in boot camp, lost my girlfriend, who was the love of my life at that point, also during boot camp, and just kind of turned me into a mess. My maturity level wasn't so great then. I hadn't learned any form of discipline. Um, I know it helped me out. Ended up getting out of the military. Still just as much of a mess as when I went in. Left for Alaska, got out to sea, where I had to do what I was told, had to listen, had to follow orders. Learn to see the reason why you have to follow orders. Learned respect for people that gave the orders and why they gave it and why it was important to respect them. So, when I first got up here and first started working, I was in such a total state of depression. I really wanted to go out and do the most dangerous things that I could find to do. And honestly, I was doing every deadly job I could find in order to destroy myself because I figured, what I had to go back to, I knew I'd never go back to no matter what. And the more I was up here, the more I got around, the more I found peace, was able to find myself. I didn't have all the distraction of friends wanting me to do this and that, or friends wanting me to party or drink, or who were just coming around for what they could get. And I think it saved me. I'm almost 100% certain if I would have stayed around my friend group and would have stayed back east, I was on my way to prison or death. At that point, you know, I see why the relationships I had with people I loved were destroyed because I wouldn't have wanted to been around me back then. Uh, it's a rough life up here. It's not for everyone. It's hard work, but you can do it. It's amazing what you can do when you have to, when there's no other option. Found myself, you know, alone most of the time. Didn't have any money. Everything I came up here with was on my back in my backpack. Oh, got a call here. I'll take this real quick. Hey, babe. Oh, just sitting here doing a live. Oh, no, you're good. No, didn't have to work this morning. Didn't snow last night. So I'm going to work on the snow blower here once it goes. It looks, yeah, looks like it's going to be terrible out before too long. Right on. Got up early, started baking some bread. So I'm going to make some bread, and then I took half the dough, and then I'm going to make some low bush cranberry cinnamon rolls. And then I'm going to make some hams and maybe some rabbit meat pies. Freeze some of those for the week. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right on. Mm-hmm. Right on. Mm. Yeah, I wasn't feeling so great, but I think it was just some too much grease from ribs. So good. Okay. Yeah, be careful with your back. Okay, I'll give you a call a bit later here. Love you. think the usuals are probably doing their chores too right now. We'll see if anyone pops on here at all this morning. If not, I might pop back in later. Have some good stories from my adventures. I think we'll start doing some story time. I think a lot of my stories are overwhelming for people, and they're kind of like, "You did what?" And yes, I did. I've been some crazy places, been in some crazy situations. I look forward to sharing some of these stories. Like I was saying, came up here with everything in my backpack. First night I got here, I had $12 to my name and a train ticket from Anchorage to Seward. Couldn't afford a hotel, so I rolled my sleeping bag out next to the dumpsters by the Alaska Railroad station in Anchorage. Probably not a smart place to camp. Bears. Woke up in the morning with a seagull standing on my chest. My sleeping bag covered in seagull shit. And got myself together, and people were starting to pull up like, "Oh my God, look at this dude." Got my stuff together, got on the train. What a absolutely beautiful trip. I recommend it highly for everyone. Hop on the Alaska Railroad from Anchorage to Seward. It's absolutely breathtaking. First time I saw salt water was when I got off the train in Seward. Like everything just, it was like a new world for me. The birds, the creatures, the stuff swimming around in the water. Had no idea what anything was. Lots of mountains and trails. The cannery was pretty neat. First year I lived in a weatherport tent outside. It's just kind of like a canvas Home Depot type shed thing. Made myself a platform to put my bunk on out of some old pallets and some cardboard. Uh, Cooked myself some breakfast. At that point, it was like, eating anything I could find. I did every side job I could. Um, thank God I was able to get a side job with the auction block, unloading halibut off a boat that day, and they fed me lunch. Uh, was able to get a check, within a week from them, buy some food and some other essentials I needed. All my light was candle lantern. Made lots of friends from all over the world that were up there to make some money for college. It didn't really have any clear cut goals at that point. It was just fully an adventure for me. I didn't have any strings to tie me down. Didn't have any bills. It's really a lot of freedom in having everything you own on your back. But, it looks like everyone's busy right now, so I think we might end this stream, and I might pop back up later on, and we'll share some stories. So, link there to support my farm if you can. Anything helps. Appreciate it. I don't waste. I work hard. So anything you can give to help my farm out, it's really much appreciated. And I'll grow it and share some things to others. So there will be value in there for that. And I'll hold myself accountable to make sure there is. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later on.